Welcome back. Donald Trump used to dominate the headlines for all the controversial comments, but now, well, there's another candidate that's ruffling a lot of feathers. Take a listen. Ben Carson made some comments with respect to Nazi or Hitler actually being able to occur in this country in this day and age. I want you to take a listen.
If people don't speak up for what they believe, then other people will change things without them having a voice. That's what I mean.
What does that have to do with Nazi Germany?
Well, Hitler changed things there, and nobody protested. Nobody provided any opposition to him, and that's what facilitated his rise.
So who's like Hitler here?
I'm not going to go into that. I think the example is pretty clear.
Donald, it was a little low. I hope you were able to hear that. Essentially, he was saying tyranny and despotism. It all starts that kind of stuff, and it's the quietness of people not saying anything. You've taken credit for reawakening the silent majority in this country. Is that one of the key things that's needed to stave off the sort of tyranny that Ben's talking about?
Well, I'm so proud of what we've done. Last night I was in New Hampshire. We had almost 4,000 people. It was in 2 rooms. We needed closed-circuit television for the second big room. And it was like a love fest. And I call it the silent majority, but then sometimes I'll say it's really not silent. I mean, these people are going wild. It's a love fest. And they just want the country to be great again, which is what I say, make America great again. That's what they want. And you do have to speak up. And, you know, Ben said it, and I know Ben took a lot of heat over it, I think because of the word Nazi was used. But people do have to speak up, and they have to speak up like they're speaking up at my rallies. I was in Oklahoma. We had 20,000 people. I was in Dallas. We had 20,000 people. I was in Mobile, Alabama. We had 35,000 people. And it's beautiful to see because there's such love, and they want to just make this country incredible.
Do you think, though, Donald, we were on the cusp of something like that? Listen, it was obvious that the reporter was trying to bait Ben Carson into saying, you know, it would be Barack Obama who could be a sort of modern-day American version of Hitler. But hadn't we fallen asleep to that degree in this nation because of political correctness and other things that we were ready to give up all of our liberties, the Constitution, and all of our birthrights?
Well, first of all, I don't think Ben meant anything bad, and he corrected it, you know, very quickly.
Sure.
And I don't think he meant anything bad by what he said. And I think his correction was satisfactory to most people from what I heard. But I will say that.
I mean, were you the wake-up call? Were you the wake-up call? Were we in such a slumber we were going to give up everything? We were on the cusp of giving it all up. And you and then others like Ben Carson, were you guys the wake-up call that this nation desperately needed?
I think we were a wake-up call, yes. I think there's a big wake-up call going on right now. I think people are tired of it. They're tired of incompetence. They're tired of, you look at ISIS, how did that happen? There are so many different things. You look at how we never make good trade deals. We lose with every country. China, we're going to lose $400 billion this year. $400 billion. You know, Japan, Mexico, all of these, Brazil, every country we do business with, we lose. We don't win anything. We don't win ever. We don't win militarily anymore. You look at Iraq, you look at ISIS, you look at anything. You know, it used to be we never lost a war, right?
Right.
Now we lose every war. And we lose them because we're politically correct. We don't really fight them.
Well, some of that.
Maybe we shouldn't, and by the way, Charles, maybe we shouldn't get into them like Iraq.
Right.
I was against Iraq early on. In 2003, I came out very strongly, big articles, that Trump was opposed to going in because I said you're going to destabilize the Middle East, and that's exactly what happened. Iraq was a disaster. Then, of course, Obama got in and got out the wrong way. You know, it's a combination. We shouldn't have been there, and then we shouldn't have gotten out the way he got out.
The other part of that equation, Donald, is, you know, maybe a lot of these things we can avoid, but there will come a time and place when we can't avoid it. And how about the notion of fighting a war to win? And I can't remember the last time we've done that.
We haven't done that in a long time. We didn't do it in Vietnam, where we shouldn't have been, by the way. But we didn't do it in Vietnam. We didn't do it certainly in Iraq. We didn't do it. I mean, we just don't do it. I think they're just very timid. I don't know. It's almost like they want to be politically correct even in fighting wars nowadays.
I think it's the optics, though, Donald. When the Vietnam War, it was the first war that ever came into our living room, and to see the body bags and the
it's terrible. I agree with
tough.
that.
So a war in the future, it's going to be the same thing. When you have this big, strong military, and there's still going to be someone out there, someone's going to be belligerent, someone's going to test us. Can we lose more than 2,000 soldiers? I know they mean everything to our nation without the country saying, hey, give it up. I mean, as President Trump, you would be torn there.
Well, you know, one of the things I said yesterday, actually, to a very, very talented person who's also in your business, and you're equally talented, by the way. You do a terrific job. But one of the things I said is unpredictability. You know, Barack Obama is very predictable. When he announced that he was leaving Iraq on a certain date, the enemy just sat back and they just said, wow, let's just sort of wait around. This is great. You need to be a little bit unpredictable. And recently it was written about me by somebody that I beat very badly in a business deal, and they said with great respect, I mean, we just couldn't figure out Trump. He was so unpredictable. And then people say, what would I do here? What would I do there? What? Well, you know, I'm leading by every poll, every single poll in every single state by a lot, and every national poll. So I have a chance of doing this. I don't want to be giving all of these answers so that the other side of the table or the enemy can say, oh, this is what Trump is going to do.
And when we come back, the final part of my interview with Donald Trump, why he thinks Hillary Clinton is, quote, a disgrace to the country, and why he feels obligated to run for president. We'll be right back.